What's happening, brothers and sisters? I want to tell you about this here program called Bridge, a cross-culture reading program. Now, I know you're thinking it's just another one of them jive reading programs, and that I won't be needing no reading program. But dig it, this here reading program is really kind of different. It was done by a brother and two sisters, soul folk, you know, and they put something extra in it for you. They put a little taste of soul. As a matter of fact, a lot of soul. No jive, that's what they put in it. A little bit of soul, something you can relate to. And check this out. Quiet as it's kept, you do need this here reading program. If you sit in this class, you don't be reading any too cool. Now don't be looking around, I'm talking about you. Yeah, right over there in the corner now. Unless you the teacher, I'm talking about you. Now I know what you're gonna say. I don't need to be reading no better. I get by. I don't dig no reading. And there ain't nothing I want to be reading nohow. But dig, I know where you been, and I know where you coming from, too. When you were just starting school, reading got on your case, didn't it? Got down on you, hurt your feelings. And in the second grade, reading just smacked you all upside your head and dared you to do something about it. In the third grade, reading got into your chest, knocked you down, dragged you through the mud, sent you home crying to your mama. Now, by the time you got to the fourth grade, you had just about had enough of messing around with this here reading thing. And you said to yourself, I ain't gonna be messing with this old bad boy no more. You just hung it up. But you had to keep your front. So you say, I don't need no reading, and there ain't nothing I want to read no how. And it was, and it wasn't all front, because that stuff was just pretty boring. So anyway, you stopped trying because you were just sick and tired of getting done in, being bored all the time by that reading stuff. But dig, like I said now, this here program is kind of different. I want to hip you to that. It can help you get it together. Keep you from being pushed around by reading. And it ain't boring, because it's about really interesting people. Matter of fact, it's about some of the most interesting people in the world. Black people. And you know how interesting bloods can be. Especially bloods who be, getting down. Bloods who talk that talk. Half-stepping bloods, Rudy-poot bloods, and all this. In this program, you'll be reading about little bloods, big bloods, brother bloods, sister bloods. And they all talk that talk and get on down. Now the reason we do this is so that when it comes to what you don't know so good, you can use what you know to deal with what you don't know. You understand what I'm talking about? Get you over the hump. Well, anyway, in this here program, you start out with what we call soul talk. The way you hear a lot of bloods talk. We call this talk black vernacular. You got that? Soul talk and black vernacular is the same thing. And you end up in standard English. Now, you know what standard English is, don't you? That's what you see in them textbooks, or you hear on radio and TV, and the way you hear the teacher talk and stuff like that. Now, every program's got some rules. You got to get hip to that. There's rules for playing football, rules for playing basketball, rules for playing a dozen, slipping and sliding, ducking and hiding, when it come to you, 1 and 1 don't make 2, and all this old stuff. Everything has got to have some rules. Now, in a whole lot of time, if you don't be following these rules, you're going to mess the setup. And this here program ain't no different. It's got rules. But that ain't no big thing now. Just keep that in mind about the rules, because, you just ain't going to be coming in here just doing what you want to do. There's some things you got to follow, all right? Now, your teacher is going to get down and get together with you about running down the rest of what the program is going to be dealing with. Now, I'm going to have to be checking out, but I will be getting back with you later. So now you hang on in there tight. All right? Shine, a story in black vernacular. This story comes from black folklore. You understand? Black folklore is stories that black folk have told and sung for a whole lot of years. This here story is all about Shine, a strong black man. Maybe you heard other stories about Shine. Now come here and check out mine. You ever hear of the Titanic? Yeah, that's right. It was one of them big ships, the kind they call an ocean liner. Now this here ship was the biggest and the baddest ship ever to sail the sea. You understand? It was supposed to be unsinkable. Wind, storm, icebergs, nothing could get next to it. It was a super bad ship. Meanest thing on the water. It could move like four bloods and tennis shoes. It was out of sight. But you know what? First time this here ship put out to sea, it got sunk. Can you get ready for that? On his first trip, this here bad, super bad ship got sunk. Now ain't that something? Well, anyway, this here bad, super bad ship went under. Word was there was very few survivors. Just about everybody got drowned. But quiet as it's kept, they say that the one dude who got away was a blood. Yeah, can you get ready for that? A big, black, strong brother by the name of Shine. And Shine was a stoker on the Titanic. The brother, he shoveled coal into the ship's furnace to make the engines go. Now dig. Check what went down on the day the Titanic sunk. Shine kept on going up to the captain of the ship. He kept on telling the captain that the ship was leaking. Shine run on up to the captain and say, Captain, I was down in a hole looking for something to eat. And you know what? The water rose above my feet. The captain said, Shine, boy. Have no doubt. We got 99 pumps to pump that water out. Now, boy, get on back down in that hole and start shoveling some more coal. Shine went on back down in the hole. He started shoveling some more coal, singing, Lord, please, have mercy on my soul. As Shine was singing, Lord, please, the water rose above his knees. Shine spit on back up to the deck and say, Captain, I was down in the hole. I was shoveling coal and singing, Lord, please. And you know what? The water rose above my knees. The captain told Shine that all was cool. He said, Shine, I done told you to have no doubt. But we got 99 pumps to pump that water out. Now go on back down in the hole and just keep on shoveling coal. Shine went on back down in the hole, kept on shoveling coal. Stopped to wipe the sweat off his face. That's when the water rose above his waist. Shine run back up on deck. He said, Captain, I was down in the hole just shoveling coal. And when I stopped to wipe the sweat off my face, the water, it rose above my waist. The captain said, Shine, boy. Now how many times do I have to tell you to have no doubt? If I done told you once, I done told you 100 times. We got 99 pumps to pump that water out. Now, boy, don't you trust your captain? I want to see you on deck again. You hear? Shine went on back down in the hole, kept on shoveling coal. He started to eat a piece of bread, and that's when the water rose above the brother's head. Shine split back up on deck. He said, Captain, you speak well, and your words, they sound true. But this time, Captain, your words, they just won't do. This here ship is sinking. Little fishes, big fishes, whales, and sharks, too. Get out of my way, 'cause I'm a-coming through. Shine yanked off his clothes in a flash, and he jumped in the water and started to splash. The captain saw the water rise out of the hole, and he started thinking, that boy is right. This here ship is sinking. He called out to Shine, Mr. Shine, please save me. I'll make you master of the sea. Shine said, Master on land, master on sea. If you want to live, Captain, you better jump in me and swim like me. Now, the captain's wife, she run out on deck in her nightgown with her fine self. She called out to Shine, please say it for me. I'll give you more loving than you ever did see. And Shine said, loving ain't nothing but hugging and squeezing. Sometimes it be tired, sometimes it be pleasing. I can swim, but I ain't no fish. I like loving, but not like this. An old fat banker come on deck carrying his money bags. He called out to Shine, please save me. I'll make you richer than any man can be. Shine said, money ain't good on land, but it's weight in the sea. If you want to live, fatty, you better jump in here and swim like me. Shine took one stroke and shot off through the water like a motorboat. He met up with this here shark. The shark said, Shine, you swim so fine, but if you miss one stroke, your butt is mine. Shine said, I swims the ocean. I swims the sea. There just ain't no shark can outswim me. Shine outswim the shark. After a while, Shine met up with this here whale. The whale say, I'm king of the ocean, I'm king of the sea. Shine say, you may be king of the ocean, and you just may be king of the sea, but you got to be about a swimming sucker to outswim me. Shine outswim the whale. Now dig this. When the news reached the land that the great Titanic had sunk, Shine was down on the corner halfway drunk.
End of Cassette 1, Side 1.
Story introduction for Stagger Lee, a story in black vernacular. This recording is for the story Stagger Lee. You got that? Stagger Lee. Now you ought to have your reading booklet open to this story now. Now, Stagger Lee is another one of these stories that comes from black folklore. You remember about black folklore. This story was about a dude who decided that he was going to make it in this world his way. He was only 10 years old, righteously slaving on a plantation in Bam, Alabama, you know, when he first started thinking about this. By the time he was 14 years old, he made his move. He just up and split, took off. The only things he took with him was a gun, a guitar, and a deck of cards. These were the tools of his trade. Stagger Lee got to be so bad, nobody whatsoever mess with him. Everybody had heard about him and what he'd be doing to anybody who got in his way, like putting caps off into him and blowing him away and stuff. He was about the baddest cat on 2 feet. One day he ran into another dude that's supposed to be pretty bad too. And the only problem here was this other dude, Billy Lyons, wasn't hip to Stagger Lee. So he thought Stagger Lee was just another chump. Well, anyway, Billy and Stagger Lee started gambling, and naturally, this was Stagger Lee's main thing, cards. It was no match. Stagger Lee just put a powerful hurting on Billy. Billy's jaws got super tight. Now something had to happen. What do you think went down? Who do you think came out on top? Well, check out the story and see what happens. But before you read it, I'm going to run down a few words that might hang you up. Now look at the words on the first page of the story, Stagger Lee. When I say each word, what you got to do is just look at them and try to remember them. Now, the first word is generation. You got that? Generation. Second word is plantation. Plantation. Number 3 is Georgia. Georgia. The fourth word is situation. Situation. The fifth word is completely. Completely. The next word is guitar. Guitar. The seventh word is rhythm. Rhythm. The eighth word is legend. Legend. The ninth word is reputation. Once again, reputation. The last word is Alabama. Alabama. Now read this story by yourself. When you finish, do the story questions in your study book. I want to remind you again, anytime you need help at all, just raise your hand. Your teacher's going to be right on over there to help you.
Story introduction for the organizer. A story in black vernacular. This recording is for the story The Organizer. You got that? The Organizer. You ought to have your reading booklet open to the story. If you don't, open it right now. Do you know what an organizer is? Well, that's what this here story is about. Brother Henry Jackson, a stone-to-the-bone organizer. Now, the neighborhood that Brother Henry came up in wasn't saying a thing, but Brother Henry was kind of different, you know. The brother had a light touch of leadership, and the brother kind of figured that he could get things together. You know, the brother wanted to reorganize things. Well, let's face it, what the brother wanted was to come up with a scheme to scoop on some money. Now, the brother figured that there was a couple of dudes in the neighborhood with a little taste of smarts. And if he could get them together and get them organized, they could form like one of them, what do you call it, a corporation. Yeah, that's it, a corporation. So the brother started rapping to all his partners. And another thing about Brother Henry was his rap. I mean, like, the brother could rap back. The brother just had a strong rap. So the brother just easily pulled his partners on into his bag about this here corporation thing. So anyway, the cats were trying to get it together on how they were going to make them some bread. Now, what do you think happened? Well, you'll find out when you read the story. Now, before we read the story, I'm going to run down a few words that might hang you up. And what I want you to do is just look at the words as I say them and try to remember them. The first one is organizer. Got that? Organizer. And number 2 is reorganize. Reorganize. 3 is scheme. Scheme. Now, the next one is possibilities. Possibilities. The 5th one is naturally. Naturally. The 6th one is requirement. Got that? Requirement. Next one is presentation. Presentation. And the 8th one is definitely. Definitely. And the last one is appointment. Appointment. Now you're ready to go on and read the story by yourself. When you finish, be sure you read the story questions in your study book. And remember, if you need some help, just raise your hand and the teacher will come over and tighten you up.
Story introduction for The Ghost, a story in black vernacular. This recording is for the story called The Ghost. Did you get that now? The Ghost. You ought to have your reading booklet open to this story. This here story is about a little old soul brother who had had 2 real big hang-ups, according to his old man anyway. That was, he was just too doggone hard-headed. His old man used to always say, "Boy, talking to you is like talking to a brick wall." His other hang-up was he didn't like school. His name was Willie Richards, Jr. Willie was always getting into trouble with his old man over not going to school and listening. Willie finally wound up dropping out of school altogether and getting a little old jive time gig. But that played out because he was too hard-headed and he lost his job. Then he started hanging around the corner, tipping grapes, you know, drinking that old cheap wine, till he almost wore the corner out. When that played out, and he finally got tired of that stuff, he joined the service when he reached about 18. He got killed in the service, and his parents really took this hard. All they did was pray, pray, pray. They prayed so much, the man upstairs couldn't take it no more. And he came up with a scheme, play a little old trick on Willie's people. He dressed up like a ghost and acted like he was Willie's ghost coming back home to pay a friendly visit to Willie's mom and daddy. Now what do you think happened when this dude with a sheet over his head knocked on Willie's people's door? Did they believe it was Willie? The only way you're going to find this out is to read it for yourself. But before you read it, I'm going to run down a few of these words that might hang you up. Now look at the words on the first page of the story, The Ghost. When I say each word, what I want you to do is just look at them, try to remember them, get familiar with them. The first word is lightweight. lightweight. Okay? Now the second word is hard-headed. Hard-headed. The third word is directions. Directions. Number 4. The word is service. Service. The fifth word is telegram. Telegram. The sixth word is lighten. Lighten. Number 7 is louder. Louder. Number 8, mourning. Mourning, like mourning for the dead. Number 9, beginning. Beginning. And the last word, number 10, is shoulder. Shoulder. Now again, I want you to read this story by yourself. When you finish, do the story questions in your study book. And again, whenever you need any kind of help at all, no matter what it is, don't be embarrassed. Just raise your hand up. The teacher come over there and help you out.
End of cassette 1, side 2.